Today is November 20th, 2023. Our reflection is entitled Blind Faith, a Lesson in Persistence. First reading according to the first book of Maccabees chapter 1, verses 10 to 15, 41 to 43, 54 to 57, and 62 to 64. There sprang a sinful offshoot, Antiochus Epiphanes, son of King Antiochus, once a hostage at Rome. He became king in the year 137 of the kingdom of the Greeks. In those days there appeared in Israel men who were breakers of the law, and they seduced many people, saying, "Let us go and make an alliance with the Gentiles all around us. Since we separated from them, many evils have come upon us." The proposal was agreeable. Some from among the people promptly went to the king, and he authorized them to introduce the way of living of the Gentiles. Thereupon they built a gymnasium in Jerusalem according to the Gentile custom. They covered over the mark of their circumcision and abandoned the Holy Covenant. They allied themselves with the Gentiles and sold themselves to wrongdoing. Then the king wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, each abandoning his particular customs. All the Gentiles conformed to the command of the king, and many Israelites were in favor of his religion. They sacrificed to idols and profaned the Sabbath. On the 15th day of the month Chislev, in the year 145, the king erected the horrible abomination upon the altar of holocausts, and in the surrounding cities of Judah they built pagan altars. They also burned incense at the doors of houses and in the streets. Any scrolls of the law which they found they tore up and burnt. Whoever was found with a scroll of the covenant, and whoever observed the law, was condemned to death by royal decree. But many in Israel were determined and resolved in their hearts not to eat anything unclean. They preferred to die rather than to be defiled with unclean food or to profane the Holy Covenant, and they did die. Terrible affliction was upon Israel. Holy Gospel of Jesus Christ according to St. Luke chapter 18, verses 35 to 43. As Jesus approached Jericho, a blind man was sitting by the roadside begging. And hearing a crowd going by, he inquired what was happening. They told him, "Jesus of Nazareth is passing by." He shouted, "Jesus, Son of David, have pity on me." The people walking in front rebuked him, telling him to be silent, but he kept calling out all the more, "Son of David, have pity on me." Then Jesus stopped and ordered that he be brought to him. And when he came near, Jesus asked him, "What do you want me to do for you?" He replied, "Lord, please let me see." Jesus told him, "Have sight, your faith has saved you." He immediately received his sight and followed him, giving glory to God. When they saw this, all the people gave praise to God. In today's readings, we encounter narratives that underscore the transformative power of faith and persistence in seeking God's mercy. The passage from the Maccabees recounts that the faithful endure persecution and strive to maintain their religious identity. The narrative emphasizes the resilience of those who, despite external pressures, remain steadfast in their commitment to God's law. The Gospel of Luke introduces us to a blind beggar who, upon hearing that Jesus is passing by, persistently calls out for mercy. Despite the crowd's attempts to silence him, the blind man's perseverance leads to a miraculous healing. This account reinforces the idea that genuine faith involves both trust in God's mercy and an unwavering determination to seek His presence. As we reflect on these stories, we are challenged to examine our own faith and persistence in seeking God. Are we willing to trust God's promises even in challenging circumstances? Do we persistently call out to Him for mercy, believing in the transformative power of His grace? Let us draw inspiration from the examples of faith in these passages and cultivate a spirit of unwavering trust and persistence in our relationship with God. Today, I will emulate the persistent faith of the blind beggar by identifying an area in my life that requires God's mercy and committing to persistent prayer and trust in His transformative power. This intentional act of faith reflects my desire for a deeper connection with God and His healing grace in my life. If you found this video meaningful, I invite you to show your support by hitting the like, subscribe and share button, as this will help us reach more people with these reflections. Together, we can create a community that seeks wisdom and spiritual growth.